So let's go over this. So if you look at yesterday's video, we were doing it live here at this level. We were in the buy zone, right? We're inside of our buy zone. So this is when it was trading live yesterday, right where that circle's at. I said this is the large. I showed you how to change the Rinko sizes because this is a 1-1-35. And I said we're looking for larger moves off the 1-1-35. And we're inside the buy zone at the time of yesterday's video. So play yesterday's video, which would be 626, how to adjust reversal Rinko sizes. So replay that video, and it goes over how you can change your reversal sizes for stops. So play that first. So yesterday's video, we were trading at this level when the market was trading live. The S&P was right around, 61, 66. And I said, we're coming out of the buy zone setup. This is a long. And then I said, you're looking for a larger move, which we got some moves all session. So play yesterday's video. We'll go over that. Let me show you how you can find additional setups off of these levels. So let's take a look at that. So first of all, play yesterday's video. You'll see how we came up with this buy zone. It was trading live yesterday, and the market moved nicely all session. How can we find additional setups if we don't make it to the zone? Sometimes the market is really, really strong, okay? So if the market's strong, let's look at the entire session. So there was our buy setup yesterday when we were doing our video here. And what happens is the market gets really strong and we never get into our buy zone again. This is our 25 buy zone all the way up. You can see our buy zone. There's a low, there's a high, but sometimes it just won't reach the buy zone. Well, there's called a shallow liquidity grab zone. That is my 30-year back-tested zone. So this is actually the 1-1-100 trend zone. So this is a 1-100 trend zone. Make sure we understand that. Let me show you. Rinko 1-1-100 trend zone to get my zone here, right? That's my zone. That's my trend zone. I'm using a 62-28 zone, 62-28 trend zone, trend zone. And what happens with the market on this 1-1-35 yesterday is sometimes you just don't get into the buy zone. Now, yesterday we got into the buy zone. This was confluence. It got into my SLG zone, which is my shallow liquidity grab zone. That's in between. What that means, you're in between my 30-year back-tested zone. You're in between it. You treat it the same way you do a 25 zone. So if the 25 zone does not get reached and the market's moving up and you're outside of profile and we're in a hot market, we're just moving up like we were today, all day yesterday, you can treat this zone the same way as you do a 25 zone. It must come inside of it, which it did here. It cannot close one candle outside of that zone. It stopped right to the tick to it yesterday, right there, right at the top of the zone 2. That's confluence. Came up, got a W bottom or double bottom into my shallow liquidity grab zone and gave a reversal candle. So that gave you a nice trade here. There's your nice trade right there. Here's your initial zone touch. That's your initial zone touch. Then it rallied, right? We took off, had a nice buy signal, 68.25, went all the way up to 85. Nice push. Then it comes down around noon at 12 o'clock and enters my 30-year back-tested zone. You treat it the same way you do the 25 zones. This is called an SLG zone or a shallow zone. It gets inside of it. It's got to touch it or get inside of it. It's got to. This is not a trade over here. So if you see it here, it's right on the outside edge of it. That's not a trade. It's got to touch it or get inside of it. I prefer getting inside of it. If I trade the SLG zone, I want to get inside of it. That's my personal preference. If I'm outside of it, it's not a trade, guys, because you want a retracement, right? This is not a trade. So here it got inside of the SLG shallow liquidity grab zone, and it actually hit my buy zone, so that's confluence. This happens a lot. When it conflues, you got a really nice trade setting up on your hands. So that's your SLG zone. Give a nice pull in on the second one. I'm going to show you another way to find more liquidity grab trades in a second too, by adjusting your zones, which I'll show you in a second. Then we start rallying again. Took off. And then we come into my SLG zone again. See, I never got to the 25 zone, but that's okay because I know it's a shallow liquidity grab because it's inside of my 30-year back tested zone, my 100. So I'm inside of it. I get the reversal candle, got another nice trade. Come up, come back down inside my SLG zone, shallow liquidity grab zone. Got another nice trade. All right, start moving again. Come into yesterday, last night, before the market started opening up for the session. Got inside of my SLG, shallow liquidity grab zone. And I got another nice trade. So you can look for the SLG. It's still a liquidity grab. There's just a pullback. So if I look at the entire session yesterday, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zone entries. We had one buy zone entry, which was an SLG with my normal 25 buy zone. Then we had 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the fifth. We're working on one now. We're working on the SLG 25 zone confluence. They're right with each other right now, if you can see right there. We're working on a buy zone right now as we speak. Setting up, right? It's coming down to that 25 buy zone. So that's another way you can get entries off liquidity grabs into my 30-year back tested zone. Now, if it gets in my 25 buy zone, my sim algo buy zone, and the SLG zone, you got confluence, nice trade. Let me show you another way. Let's say you're a scalper, then you want more trades. I'm going to show you how to adjust this. What we can do is we can find additional buy zones by adjusting our what? Our zones. Our zone is a 25 buy zone. So this is a 1/120 chart. Let's look at a different Renko size. This is for smaller stops. Let's say you want to scalp the market and you want a lower Uni Renko size. Well, you can adjust your Uni Renko size down, let's say a 1/120, but then you just come in and adjust your zone for shallow pullbacks. So now I can come in, I can use I want to use my trend filter the same. I don't want to mess up my trend filter. Use a 1/100. So it's been a buy setup all day yesterday. We have had no sell setups on this chart, and it's coming into a buy zone right now as we speak. We're getting into a buy zone right now. We need a reversal candle, and we're going to get a buy setup on this chart as we speak right now. But what you can do is you can come in, and from the 25 buy zone, let's say you want to see a lot of shallow liquidity grabs. You come in. That's your 1/100 trend zone to keep it green. Here's my 62.28 zone. But here's my sim algo down to a value of 10. I would not go lower than 10. You go as, because we have 25 zone, we got 35, 100, and 200, right, for deep liquidity grabs. I would not go lower than a 10 zone pullback for shallow liquidity grabs if you're using smaller Renko sizes. Right? Do not go lower than 10. But if you can look, if we see how this works, watch how this works. Here's another one. Right there it is. Caught that one. This is an SLG into a buy zone. SLG is my zone. There's another one. Here's the SLG confluence into my buy zone. There's another one. Get a ton of trades like this. And smaller stops. All right, we move along. Now it's setting up for what? An SLG into the buy zone right now. If you get a reversal candle, you got a buy set up right now. If we get a reversal candle, right there it is, setting up for a buy on this chart. Okay, so if you want additional buy setups, those are the buy setups yesterday. Because it got into my SLG, it got into my 100 buy zone, and it got into my Tim Sim Algo buy zone. All these, they all gave confluence. What you don't want to do, here's where traders will get messed up during the trading day, is they take retracements outside of my zones. This is where you're going to get screwed up on trading the system. Don't take trades way outside the zones because they're very short-lived. Right there, all these trades, you don't take any of these trades. That's why the zones help you out. They keep your mind right. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row yesterday just off this chart. So you can look at, and the sells are the same way. You know, you get a lot of setups like this. Sells would be the same way. Right now we're in a buy side bias. We're looking for a buy. We're looking for a reversal candle right here. So that's a couple ways you can add trades to your trading arsenal. Like right now, you can tell yesterday we did the video. We're doing this live when it was in the buy zone. I said, look for an extended move off of 1135. How do you change your Renko size? But my 30-year backtested zone is an SLG zone. It's a zone in case the 25 doesn't get hit. It's a shallow zone. It's a setup. You treat it the same way like you do the 25 zone. You cannot close outside. You cannot close outside of this parallel zone. Never does. This one doesn't. That's market structure. That one doesn't. That one doesn't. That one doesn't. So they're all great trades yesterday. We had a lot of nice trades yesterday on trading the SLG and the buy zone. And then if you want to take it a step further, you said, okay, I don't want to trade the 1135. It's too large a Renko size. Hey, no problem. So you can trade off the reason traders like the 1135 chart, 1135 chart is because of this. Because that reversal candle is 35 ticks. This is a 35 tick reversal candle. 35 tick. So what you don't get a lot of what? You don't get a lot of chop. You get a reversal candle saying, hey, this zone, we're looking for a continuation. So when you're looking at this chart, and let's say you're just looking at this chart to trade in the room, the ES by itself, you could simply you could trade off this chart all by itself on the ES or any market, crude oil, gold, S&P, the Dow, Russell 2000, doesn't matter. You can trade soybeans, corn, it doesn't matter. You can trade crypto, you trade Bitcoin off this, it doesn't matter. It's the same setup. If I get into my zone, this is my 25 zone here. Sometimes the market, like I said, gets too hot and gets rolling up. It may not get into my 25 zone. That's okay. It's okay. As long as it gets in my shallow SLG zone, my shallow zone, that is this parallel trend zone. You treat it the same way. You just do not, you have to let it come inside of it by at least a candle or at it. I like coming inside of it. If you're going to trade off of this zone, and you don't want to close below it, you want to have a reversal candle before it closes below the zone. Just like right now, we're looking for a pull-in. It's at an SLG zone right now. Right? So that's one way to do it, to get additional setups in the room as far as that goes. So yesterday, like I said, we had one buy zone, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shallow liquidity grab zones in my 30-year backtested zone. We're setting up right now on one as we speak, setting up for a buy setup right now. Now to reiterate, to take it a step further, let's say you want more trades. You're like, listen, Jay, I don't like trading off the 1135. I don't like larger stops. You know, I don't trade the micros, which is 1/10 of the big contract. I trade the big contract. So I want a smaller stop. Hey, no worries. You can take a smaller Renko chart. Let's say a 1/120 now. Now this is a 20 reversal candle. But let's adjust our zones then, because our zones we want to adjust to get more setups. So we come into the indicator. We adjust my sim zone down to 10. Now I'm getting really shallow liquidity grab pullbacks off of a smaller Renko. So when I look at it, let's take these off and I'll show you how these set up. You just extend it out. So let's look at these. You don't want to take trades unless you get into the zone though. You don't want to take this trade like this, right? You don't want to take like this, too shallow. Now I hit inside my zone. So take a look at this. This is a nice confluence. So look what the 10 sim does. So right there's the high of it. Right there's the low of it. My sim algo. So extend it out like we always do. There's a low, there's a high. Extend it out. Look where price does. Not only does it come into my sim algo zone right here, it comes into my SLG, my shallow zone. That's confluence, guys. Off the 1-1-20 chart, this happened at 11:30 yesterday. 61.79, and it rallied hard up to 98. Did it again there, confluence. Look at the buy setups you get. See, these are not setups right here. Didn't hit the zone. It didn't hit my SLG or my buy zone. This is not a trade. This is not a trade. This is not a trade. It did right there, confluence. Did right there, confluence. Is in my SLG and my buy zone. Market took off at 9.54. Big rally. 61.64 all the way up. Another big trade here. Another trade. Another big trade there. Another big trade into the close. So what are we doing right now since last night at midnight? We're setting right up right now for a trade right now. On this chart, on this 1-1-20 chart, and I'll leave this chart in the room so you guys watch it all day today. As long as I don't close below that 30-year back tested zone right there, it's green, so we're buying. And I get a reversal candle, it is a buy. Setting up for a buy right now. And this is confluence because watch, I'm at my zone. Right there's my high in my zone, my green dash, see it right there. There's my low in my zone. We extend it out. Look at this confluence setting up right now on this buy setup. So that's a buy setup that's setting up right now. We just need a reversal candle. Right? And this is off of a smaller Renko. This is a 1-1-20. So I'll leave that then here so you can watch it. And we're also setting up on our big chart for an SLG. Right? Because it's inside of my zone. But I got to get a reversal candle. Now, if it gets inside of my 25 zone here, and it reverses inside of my SLG, you got confluence, guys. Those are the best trades. This is a trade we talked about yesterday live. Look at it push. It started the whole move. This was inside my SLG and my buy zone. Started the whole push up. But what happened is the market was so strong, it may not get down to my 25 zone again. So what you do, you trade the SLG zone all the way up.